and welcome to the Fundamentals of Lute Playing. My name is Laudon Schuett, and today is just a short little video introducing you to your first 2 3-voice pieces. So I'm including 2 pieces to give you a little variety. As always, if you're not ready to go on to this level, please feel free to stay wherever you're at. I'm not expecting you to keep up with the pace of the videos. These will be online forever, or as long as YouTube exists and they allow me to have an account. So just a little bit of information on the 2 pieces. I will provide them both in Italian and in French tablature. So the first piece is Wilson's Wild. This is a beautiful little, essentially a toy, which is a light sort of pedagogical piece, though it is probably based upon, or at least related to, the William Byrd Wastley's Wild, which is a bit more virtuosic and can be found in it's a keyboard piece. So you could almost consider this as an instrumental arrangement or entabulation. It's not clear to me which one came first, but looking at the dates of the sources, probably the William Byrd came first, and they may both be based upon something that already existed, some sort of Wilson's Wild or Wastley's Wild, or who knows, William's Wild or something like that. Or perhaps Byrd came up with it, and this was an arrangement made for lute with a slight alteration of the name. I think the only thing to think about with this one is that I am going to include the ornaments, and I do think it adds a lot right off the bat in the first full measure. So there's a pickup note, and then we've got this sort of playing it a little slowly. So we've got some ornaments in there for you to play around with, and if that's too fast for you, I mean, I think it could sound quite lovely at. So don't feel like you need to do it super fast. It's one of the reasons that I sometimes avoid recording these pieces for you guys, the ones that I'm giving out, because I don't want you to think, that's too fast, it's too crazy. I am going to challenge you to try to do the ornaments in here. You don't need to do all of them. There are both shakes and falls. You'll find them in the music. I think the first fall that you're going to find is in measure 8 or 9, and it's just a little like that. So if you haven't been playing ornaments or adding them in and you need a reminder on those ornaments, do go check out my 2 ornament videos. I have one on the shake and one on the fall. So that'll help you get through Wilson's Wild. The other one is a little balletto called Tienta Lora from the Caparola lute book. So I'm kind of giving you a taste of both sides of the 16th century. So we got Wilson's Wild at the end and Tienta Lora at the beginning. From a practical perspective, obviously you can play both. I'm generally making sure that most of the things I'm giving you are playable on a 6-course lute. But you could also, of course, then play it on a 10-course lute, a 9-course, 8, 7, whatever you have. One thing to keep in mind is that for the earlier stuff, they probably had the octave on the 4th course, the F. So if you're looking for a slightly more authentic sound when you play the caparola, you may want to pop the lower string on your 4th course off and throw an F, a high F on there. And if you don't have one trick is if you've got some extra first strings, your chanterelles, you can pop one of those on, and usually it's just tense enough to do it. The other thing with the earlier rep is it was probably written for a lute, so a smaller, brighter instrument. So if you're looking to kind of get closer to that sound, if you're doing the caparola and your instrument can handle it, knock it up to 440. And that might get you a little closer to the sound world they were playing with. If you have an A lute, that's absolutely wonderful. You could play it on your A lute. So just a couple little notes about the balletto, Tienta Lora, which I believe in the manuscript is actually sort of scratched out, but it's been worked out. So a balletto was like a light vocal composition. So this is actually sort of an entabulation. And tabulation is just a fancy way of saying you're taking a piece that was written for a different instrument or voice and arranging it for lute or whatever instrument you're playing. I think the only thing that needs to be mentioned here is that they had these fa la la refrains, and the way that Caparola kind of brings this out, you'll notice that there are little two-note chords that have dots underneath them, and all that means is that you're going to play those with fingers, so no thumb. In previous episodes, we talked about playing, two notes at the same time and different options using thumb and the middle finger. And one of the rare options that we're going to talk about in a later video, but pops up here, this is a nice introduction, is to play with both your fingers. And that gives it sort of a even sound. So you've got this kind of fa la la, fa la la, fa la la. So I thought that's kind of a nice thing. I think they're both about the same difficulty level. Maybe the belletto is a little more challenging. They're both sort of beautiful and light. In a couple weeks, I'll post up the next set of 3 voice pieces, and those will be a bit more challenging for those of you who are a little more experienced. So if you have any questions about either of these pieces, please put a comment in the comment section. I'll have a link to them in the description, and I'll try to remember to put a comment in the comment section with the link. But these are 2 really lovely pieces, and I hope you enjoy. So happy practicing, happy luting, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.